Welcome to all of you. In Module 2, we are going to study two major topics. First one, transmission characteristics of optical fiber. Second one is optical fiber connectors. So let us start with the first topic, that is transmission characteristics of optical fiber. In this lecture, we are going to study two topics, attenuation, material absorption losses. Under this, two different types of absorption mechanisms, intrinsic absorption and extrinsic absorption. Let us start with the attenuation. Attenuation is one of the major problems in the communication channel. In transmission channels, it is the maximum transmission distance before the signal is being restored. In case of transmission, optical fiber is quite attractive because it is going to have very less amount of attenuation, that is less than 5 dB per kilometer. The attenuation is given in terms of the input power to the output power. If Pi is going to be the input optical power and P0 is going to be the output optical power, then the attenuation is given by the logarithmic unit of the decibel. That is, signal attenuation in decibels alpha in dB is equal to 10 log Pi divided by P0 to base 10, where Pi is the input optical power and P0 is the output optical power. By making use of this expression, we can also identify the ratio of input to the output power, that is given by Pi divided by P0 is equal to 10 to the power of alpha in dB divided by 10. Now, attenuation in optical fiber communication is expressed in decibels per unit length. So that means if we consider certain length of the fiber cable L, then the expression will take the form alpha in dB into length L is equal to 10 log Pi divided by P0 to base 10, where this alpha in dB is the signal attenuation per unit length and L is going to be the length of the optic fiber. Let us go through a problem related to the attenuation. The problem statement: when the mean optical power launched into an 8 kilometer length of optical fiber is 120 microwatt, the mean optical power at the fiber output is 3 microwatt. Determine, first one, the overall signal attenuation or loss in decibels through the fiber, assuming there are no connectors or splices. Second one, the signal attenuation per kilometer for the fiber. Third one, the overall signal attenuation for a 10 kilometer optical link using the same fiber with splices at 1 kilometer intervals, each giving an attenuation of 1 dB. Fourth one, the numerical input to output power ratio in C. Coming to the solution. So let us first note down the given parameters. So given fiber length is given, that is L is equal to 8 kilometer. So that is this is the parameter 8 kilometer, and this length 8 kilometer is applicable for the solution for A as well as for B. For C they have given another distance 10 kilometer, that one we have to consider for C as well as for D. And then input optical power Pi is equal to 120 microwatt, then output optical power P0 is equal to 3 microwatt. Now coming to the solution of the first sub question, that is the overall signal attenuation, that is given by alpha in dB is equal to 10 log Pi by P0 to base 10. So Pi and P0 are the known parameters. Make the substitution of that, simplify it, we are going to have the answer as 16 dB. The second sub question, signal attenuation per kilometer we need to calculate. Now the formula will become alpha in dB into L is equal to 10 log pi by p naught to base 10. So this value we have already calculated, that is equal to 16 dB. So length is a known parameter, that is 8 kilometers. Therefore, the attenuation per kilometer will become alpha in dB is equal to 16 divided by the length 8. That is equal to 2 dB per kilometer. Coming to the C. So in the sub question C, the length is different. So that is, we have to calculate it for the 10 kilometer distance. So attenuation per kilometer, it is 2 dB per 2 dB per kilometer. It has already been calculated. Now the same concept, if it is length is 10 kilometer, what will be the attenuation we need to calculate? So it is quite simple. So alpha in dB into L is going to give us the result. So alpha in dB per kilometer is 2, that is 2 into total distance is 10 kilometer, that is 10. So 2 into 10 is the 20 dB we are going to have as the answer. And in the sub question C, there is one more concept. At each 1 kilometer interval, a splice has been placed and each splice will have the attenuation of 1 dB. So total 10 kilometer distance. So we can place 9 splices. Therefore, each splice will have 1 dB. So 9 splices will contribute an attenuation of 9 dB. Therefore, 9 dB is the attenuation. Now the overall attenuation is going to be, so 20 dB attenuation is the basic loss, plus due to slices 9 dB additional. Therefore, total loss is going to be the 29 dB. Now the fourth sub question, obtaining the input to output power with respect to the question C. So in the question C, we have obtained the overall attenuation as 29 dB. We are going to make use of the 29 dB in order to calculate the input to the output power ratio. So we are having this formula, basic formula of attenuation. From this formula, basic formula, we can identify the ratio to the input and the output power. Therefore, Pi divided by P naught is equal to 10 to the power of alpha in dB divided by 10. Alpha in dB is equal to 29. So by substituting 29, we are going to have the final answer as 794.3. Now getting into the material absorption losses. The name itself is going to indicate. So this is an absorption loss due to the presence of different materials like iron, chromium, or something else like that. So now let us get into this one. So due to the material composition and the fabrication process, so it is going to happen, and the losses are going to happen due to the dissipation of the optical power in the form of the heat within the waveguide. So two different absorption mechanisms are there. So one is the intrinsic absorption, second one is the extrinsic absorption. So let us have one single point of understanding with respect to each of these two. So intrinsic absorption is going to occur when the fiber is in its purest form, and extrinsic absorption is going to happen when there are certain metallic impurities present in the optical fiber. Getting into the intrinsic absorption. So as I told you before, so intrinsic absorption is going to happen when the optical fiber is in its purest form. So in such cases, the absorption will be minimal, and it will be at the fundamental lower limit of the absorption. And this intrinsic absorption is dealt with respect to the UV region as well as the near infrared region. It is going to have the lowest absorption level within the window range of 0.8 micrometer of wavelength up to the 1.7 micrometer of wavelength. When it comes to the infrared region, so above 1.2 micrometer, the optical waveguide loss is determined by the presence of the OH ions and inherent IR absorption of the constituent materials. Anyhow, these 2 points we can understand in the graph that will be shown next. Now this graph is going to indicate the absorption loss, the intrinsic absorption. So ultraviolet absorption, that is the first one. Second one is the infrared absorption. Only these two lines is of our importance of discussion in this particular case. Now the x-axis, it's the photon energy. The y-axis, it's the attenuation in dB per kilometer, and this axis is going to indicate the wavelength in micrometer. So we can observe that at the lower values of the wavelength, the ultraviolet absorption will be at the peak, and somewhere close to 2 micrometer, the infrared absorption is at the peak. And as I told in the previously, so between the range 0.8 micrometer up to 1.7 micrometer, the amount of absorption will be quite less. And somewhere within this region, there will be almost no absorption levels. So only these two, the infrared and the ultraviolet with respect to this graph is being considered. And one thing we have to observe, this graph is determined by considering the oxide structures of the silicon as well as the germanium for optic fiber. Now still, how we can reduce this intrinsic absorption effect? So there are two ways to reduce this absorption effect. The first one is by making a proper choice for core cladding compositions. The second option that we can make is by making consideration of non-oxide glasses like fluorides and chlorides instead of the oxides. So in both of these two, that is fluorides and the chlorides, the absorption peak occur at the longer wavelengths. Therefore, we can make use of these longer wavelengths for the transmission purposes, which is going to have the lesser attenuation when compared to the oxide-oriented glass structures. Now getting to the extrinsic absorption. So as I told you before, so extrinsic absorption is going to happen due to the presence of the metal impurities. So these metal impurities involves iron, chromium, copper, cobalt, etc. And these are going to absorb the photons. And one more source of this extrinsic absorption will be the presence of the water within the glass content. The major source of the attenuation is from the transition of metal impurity ions. So various metals like iron, chromium and cobalt, copper, etc. And these losses will contribute from 1 dB per kilometer up to 10 dB per kilometer. Now how to find a solution for this one? So it is quite simple. So increase the purity of the optical fiber, that is the glass refining techniques, that is going to increase the purification process of this optical fiber, from which we can avoid all these metallic impurities. Now another major loss is caused due to the hydroxyl ion impurities that is dissolved in the glass. So these are going to have the absorption peaks somewhere at the locations 1400 nanometer, then second one at 950 nanometer, and third overtone will be at 750 nanometer. So these overtones we can observe over here. So this diagram is going to indicate the absorption spectrum for the hydroxyl group in silica, or the hydroxyl ions present in the silica. The x-axis is going to indicate the wavelength in nanometers, and the y-axis is going to indicate the attenuation in dB per kilometer. So as I told you previously, so there are three overtones. The first overtone is going to occur at the 1400 nanometer. The second overtone is somewhere here, which is 950 nanometer, and the third overtone is going to happen somewhere here, which is equal to 750 nanometer. Thanks for joining.